Programming is made possible by Leonard Seed Service, an independent dealer providing DeKalb and Asgrow seed products to farmers in East Central Illinois. Leonard Seed Service provides customer services and agronomic information to help customers maximize profits. Leonard Seed Service, 217-497-2270.
You're listening to the Closing Market Report from Illinois Public Media. It is a Wednesday afternoon. Drew Lerner at World Weather Incorporated is now on the phone line to take a look at the weather forecast. Good afternoon to you, Drew.
Good afternoon, John.
Tell me about this forecast and what you see and what farmers will be able to do and maybe not be able to do in the Midwest.
Well, you know, it's not a bad scenario that's playing out here. We're getting over the cold here this morning. The afternoon temperatures are going to be very pleasant in a relative sense, but we are going to start a warming trend, I think, as we get into Friday and Saturday, and in easternmost parts of the Midwest. Still on Sunday, we're going to see temperatures well above average. We'll likely get up into the 60s, maybe even some 70s in the lower parts of the region once again. So quite a contrast as we continue on this roller coaster ride of temperatures here this week. We will see faster drying rates as the temperatures warm up. There's not going to be a lot of humidity for the next day or two, but as we get into Friday, a strong southerly wind will blow across the heart of the Midwest from Missouri, parts of Illinois, into Indiana northward. The winds will likely be sustained at 15 to 25 miles per hour, and some gusts getting to 35 miles per hour and perhaps a little bit higher. So a little bit of hindrance coming up from that alone, and then we're also going to be carrying moisture northward from the Gulf of Mexico at the same time, and so some showers will start to pop up on Friday as we go deeper into the afternoon. But the big delay in fieldwork will occur Saturday into Sunday, and that's when we'll see widespread showers and some thunderstorms occurring across parts of the lower and eastern Midwest. At the same time, a little bit of rain changing to snow in the northwestern areas. Moisture totals east of the Mississippi River probably run anywhere from a quarter to 3/4 of an inch. There might be some totals getting up over 1 inch. Again, this will be Saturday and Sunday primarily. Then next week, we turn right around and start drying down again. Another shot of cold air comes along, but there shouldn't be another storm system of size through the balance of the week next week.
Turn your attention to South America now, where some farmers on that continent started out the growing season under dry conditions, but I believe as we approach the halfway mark for them, in planting that is, that things have gotten better.
Yes and no. Mostly yes. I think for the most part, Brazil crop country is doing very well. There's actually some dryness that's evolving now in southern portions of Brazil. That has been underway for a little while here, but it looks like over this coming weekend and early next week, there'll be two disturbances that will pass through those very same drier areas and bolster topsoil moisture, taking away any concern whatsoever over a dryness issue there. And the rest of Brazil stays in really good shape. Argentina will fall back into a little bit of a net drying mode for the western crop areas. You know, they struggled for quite a while with dryness there, and then we got hit with a couple of deluges of rain in the end of October, early this month, and now we're drying back down again. But I do not think we're going to fall back into any kind of persistent dryness issue for Argentina. It should be a good scenario overall.
Thanks so much, Drew, for taking the time with us today.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Drew Lerner is with World Weather Incorporated in Kansas City and joins us on this Wednesday afternoon of the Closing Market Report. That wraps it up. I'm University of Illinois Extension's Todd Gleason.
Support comes from Global Commodity Analytics, now taking reservations for upcoming seminars in Illinois and Indiana. December 2nd in Lafayette, Indiana and Monticello, Illinois, and December 3rd in Jacksonville. Meals provided. Reservations required. Seating is limited. Contact Mike Zuzolo at 866-471-2588.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Shay Stevens. Philippine government officials are facing increasing pressure to speed up the distribution of food, water, and other supplies to survivors of Typhoon Haiyan. The World Food Program has distributed rice and other items to almost 50,000 people in the Tacloban area, but 10 times that many are homeless and hungry. As Aurora Armandral reports, there are signs that the massive international relief effort is picking up.
Relief aid is coming in slowly, much too slow for the needs of the people, but it is getting better. I spoke to some relief agencies, and UNHCR says that they'll get the kind of relief that they think they need to deliver in 4 or 5 days.
The United States is sending additional ground and air transportation and plans to triple to about 1,000 the number of troops on the ground. The Philippine government has confirmed about 2,300 typhoon deaths, but the figure is expected to go higher. The Obama administration says about 106,000 people have signed up for private health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. That's 1/5 the number the administration estimated for the first month. But HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius is predicting that things will soon get better.
In every part of our country, Americans are very interested in the affordable health coverage that's being offered through the marketplace and through Medicaid. And even with the issues we've had, the marketplace is working and people are enrolling over the phone, on paper, in person, and online at both healthcare.gov and through state websites.
Fewer than 27,000 people have enrolled through the federal website, serving 36 states. The 14 states running their own sites were more successful, signing up more than 79,000. An investigative team has reached some preliminary conclusions on America's spying policies. NPR's Ari Shapiro reports on the panel's briefing to White House aides.
In early August, after months of leaks about American spying programs, President Obama responded to the outrage by appointing a panel. He asked 5 intelligence experts to examine U.S. surveillance policies and make recommendations about how best to balance security needs against privacy concerns. Now the team has reached some preliminary conclusions. At the White House, the panel briefed Obama's National Security Advisor Susan Rice and Counterterrorism Advisor Lisa Monaco, along with National Security Council staffers. Though this report was private and strictly oral, the team is expected to put its final conclusions in writing by December 15th. White House aides say although the full report will be classified, parts of it will be released to the public. Ari Shapiro, NPR News, the White House.
4 U.S. Marines have been killed at Camp Pendleton, California. It happened while they were clearing ordnance that exploded unexpectedly. Authorities say there was no live firing on the range at the time. An investigation is underway to determine the cause of Wednesday's accident. Asian shares are higher following gains on Wall Street. Stocks are up more than 2.5% in Tokyo. This is NPR News. A jury in Arlington, Virginia, has acquitted an Air Force officer of sexual assault charges. Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Kruczynski was arrested in May on charges of groping a woman while he was head of the Air Force's Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Branch. The arrest came amid Pentagon efforts to increase penalties for unwanted sexual contact. In Kruczynski's case, the jury forewoman says prosecutors failed to present enough evidence to remove reasonable doubt. The Archdiocese of Philadelphia is facing another lawsuit over priest sexual abuse allegations. NPR's Jeff Brady reports that the accuser died of a drug overdose before the criminal case could be tried.
The estate and family of Sean McLemore are claiming Catholic Church officials were aware of sexual abuse allegations against Father Robert Brennan at least a decade before McLemore was allegedly abused as an altar boy. Marcy Hamilton is one of the attorneys filing the case.
So they knew full well what they were dealing with, and instead of protecting children, they let defenseless children like Sean be abused by Brennan.
Criminal charges were filed against the priest after McLemore contacted prosecutors, but those charges were later dropped when the 26-year-old accuser died of a drug overdose last month. The Archdiocese says Brennan was removed from active priesthood in 2005. Jeff Brady, NPR News, Philadelphia.
Andy Warhol's silver car crash double disaster has sold for $105 million at the Sotheby's auction in New York City. The 8-by-13-foot painting captures the immediate aftermath of a car crash. The previous Warhol auction record was $71.7 million, set in 2007. This is NPR News in Washington.
Hungry?
Support for NPR.
That's a country? Now, I've heard of turkey, but hungry, never heard of it.
Welcome back to Studio 27, now on this Thursday morning. Wrapping up the news and market information from NPR. And that soundbite you just heard from Kelly Pickler, talking about hungry. I'm watching the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, and I see this blonde woman come out there. At first I thought it was the blonde from MSNBC, The Morning Joe, It looked a lot like her, but then I thought, that's too young to be her. And, Craig pulled up a CD a little bit ago, and it was of Kelly Pickler. I didn't recognize her. Girl's great on looks, but as far as brains, well, I don't know. I'm not all that impressed. Good looks are nice, but if a woman doesn't have brains, I'm not going to be too interested. At least not for very long. All right. Well, it's time now for the news of the weird. So let's get to it, shall we? Let me drop my Nook reader first. Whew! I tell you, this thing takes a licking but keeps on ticking. If it were a Timex, I think it'd be dead by now. All right, let's roll the news of the weird intro. And in news of the weird for this Wednesday night / Thursday morning, takes us to the South. And according to a recent survey by the dating website Cupid.com, Americans think that Southern accents are the sexiest in North America. In a survey of 2,000 men and women on the website, nearly 37% reported that the Southern accent is the sexiest. Okay. It's not really news of the weird, it's more of just a fun fact, but I'll pass it along.
The mess you've gotten me into.
Well, I'm sorry, Ollie. Jeez, what a jerk.
And you can always follow me on Twitter.
Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
The keyboard. How quaint.
And it's time now for popular tweets of the day. And Richie Incognito came out of exile for a damage control interview with Fox Sports earlier this week that was supposed to clear the air. Incognito is the suspended Miami Dolphins guard and face of the alleged workplace harassment that prompted second-year tackle Jonathan Martin to bolt from the team and seek counseling. Martin was expected to make a statement soon. Well, I've gone to the Twitter to see what people had to say, and here are some of the results that I have found. Colin Cowherd writes, Tim Tebow and Richie Incognito are both in L.A. today. I'm telling you, Ryan Seacrest wastes no time when it comes to developing reality shows. Denise Lindbergh writes, I'm having trouble telling Rob Ford and Richie Incognito apart. Brian Donaldson writes, Richie Incognito sounds like the name of a guy who would be buds with Carlos Danger. Remember Carlos Danger? And finally, Justin Greer writes, if Richie Incognito were ever bullied, LeBron James inside Yankee Stadium while wearing a Tim Tebow jersey, ESPN would burst into flames. I like that. And that is today's popular tweets of the day. Now it's time for my favorite portion of this program, a little segment I like to call the Song of the Day. And a few weeks ago I played a concert version, basically the unplugged version of this that was recorded in 1997. Today I'm going to play you the original studio version that was finally produced in 1977. And this is my favorite song of all time, up to this date, okay? This is Fleetwood Mac. The tune is called Don't Stop. And in case you missed it earlier, it was written by vocalist and keyboard player Christine McVie and sung by Christine McVie and guitarist Lindsey Buckingham. It was a single taken from the band's 1977 album Rumors. It's one of the band's most enduring hits, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Singles Chart. In the UK market, Don't Stop followed Go Your Own Way as the second single from Rumors and peaked at number 32. In the US, it was the third single released and peaked at number 3 in October of 77. Now, Don't Stop reflects Christine McVie's feelings after her separation from Fleetwood Mac's bass guitarist John McVie after 8 years of marriage. Don't Stop was just a feeling. It just seemed to be a pleasant revelation. They have that Yesterday Is Gone. She remembers in the Fleetwood Mac story, Rumors and Lies. It might have, I guess, been directed more toward John, but I'm just definitely not a pessimist. And, of course, it was used by presidential candidate Bill Clinton as the theme for his first campaign, most notably in the 1992 Democratic National Convention. Upon a winning election, President Clinton persuaded the then disbanded group to perform the tune for his inaugural ball in 1993. At the 2000 DNC, he ended his speech by saying, "Keep putting